And we're back, and Haley and I are in the studio with Benjamin Moore's own Kevin Hermann.
Good morning.
Kevin, thanks for being here.
How you doing?
Yeah, you're our territory rep. You're here.
I am.
Bringing Christmas gifts of all kinds. We
Yes.
appreciated.
We're so spoiled.
And I'm always guarded when you guys are talking to me because I don't know when the next
Slam is coming.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's like the nicest intro I think you've ever given, Kevin. You should always come with gifts.
Yeah, I would feel terrible slamming Kevin. I'll slam him later as it starts to,
Dissipate.
Yeah,
Forget.
dissipate in my memory.
Yeah.
Which
it
really
won't last long.
Yeah, I don't
How
even
many
know
minutes is this going to be?
what we're talking about now. I can't remember. Anyway, we've got a big end of year sale going, and I wanted to get you here to just talk about some of the products, let people know what's going on, and then if there's time, which I'll make sure there is, I want to look ahead at some of the changes in some new products that are coming out. So let's start with Super Hide Flat. When I look at the label, it doesn't really speak to me. It's a pretty boring looking product, and then I go to the name, Super Hide Flat. Maybe that sounds exciting to some
Super
people.
Hide Zero Flat.
Okay, so yeah, there we go. What in the world is this? Who does it apply to? Where would you use it?
Well, primarily we have this position for contractors that are doing ceilings that want an inexpensive product that is dead flat. It looks good on the ceiling. It's easy to use, and it's very, very competitively priced.
Okay, so how would this compare? Let's talk about it compared to the Benjamin Moore premium ceiling paint, where that also, we would consider that and call that dead flat.
Yeah.
That one's tintable.
That one, I mean, you can tint this, but the premium ceiling paint is made for, we can tint any color and it stays dead flat. It is the most user-friendly ceiling paint we have. If we have somebody that's having trouble painting a ceiling and making it look uniform, we use that product.
Okay.
It's almost monkey-proof. This is a very nice product, but it's not quite that quality. It's not going to go quite as far. It's not going to hide quite as well.
Well, and like you said, it's for contractors. So these are experienced painters using it, not someone that's going to have so much trouble painting a ceiling out.
Now, that is all interesting, but Kevin said monkey-proof and then stared directly at me.
I think
intentional?
It might have been subliminal,
Okay.
but it wasn't intentional.
All right. So you didn't try to let your feelings show. They just snuck out.
I just thought and then looked at you.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody noticed that, but I want to make sure
You pointed it
I
out.
pointed it out. So anyway, Haley, you mentioned this is a contractor-type product. Kevin, you said the same thing. So does that mean it's off the table for homeowners? Of course not, right?
No. If a homeowner has some ceilings that they need to paint, and it's always a good idea to refresh the ceiling before you do the walls, this is a perfect product for them, and they can save actually quite a bit more because we're going to sell them at the same contractor price.
Yeah, now we've got them on sale. All of these products that we're going to talk about are on sale in the 5-gallon pail.
Right.
Not single gallons.
Yep.
So if you've got,
multiple rooms.
new house type stuff, or you're redoing a main level, this is a great way to go. So that's Super Hide Flat. What's the zero? You mentioned Super Hide
Zero VOC.
All right.
Yep. So most of the country is going through VOC regulations, and I think we're going to get some here too soon.
Very excited for those. I'm
really?
waiting eagerly. I love regulations. It's one of my favorite things.
Changes, confusing regulations. Who doesn't love them?
I know. We've got a lot coming. And we're going to actually be talking with Dan Altina, president of Repcolite, about some of those changes and what that means when we actually know what's happening. So that should be in the next little bit here.
Yeah, I think it might go into effect after January 1st.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they're going to tell us what that means until later than that yet. Yeah. So Super Hide Flat, we've got that for $84.55 for a 5-gallon pail.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to need more than 3 gallons, I think you're better off buying the 5.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's
Super.
Quite a savings.
What about Ultra Spec Primer? Talk about that one.
So
where does that fit?
Ultra Spec Primer would be a mid-level primer for us. It doesn't have any stain blocking qualities, but if you're repainting or if you're doing new drywall, it's a perfect product. It has good hide. It has a good enough resin package, which means to seal, and that's really what we want in a primer sealer. It's going to seal off the surface so that even if we're putting, say, Regal eggshell over the top of it, we're going to get a uniform sheen. It's a nice product.
All right, so you say even Regal eggshell.
Yeah.
Talk to the people who aren't familiar why that even would matter. It's the sheen that you're getting at.
Yeah, it's the sheen. The higher the quality of the product, typically the higher percentage of resin that you have in it, and also a higher quality resin. So you have a higher quality resin and more of it. And if you put it over a non-sealed surface and where you lap, you can
so where
pick
you
up
overlap,
where
essentially.
you overlap on your roller or your cutting brush or whatever, you can pick up some sheen, and it can make the surface look not uniform, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where a good primer sealer will seal that porous surface, get your foundation for hide, and then make sure that your top coats are more uniform in their sheen.
I remember a customer came in, he had moved into a new house and had fresh drywall, needed to prime it all, thought that he had, but maybe needed to do a second coat, started painting, and he said that he could see the W that he was painting on the wall with the paint because of the sheen difference that was caused from exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So
a lot of times it's not necessarily the application abilities,
right?
But it's what you're going over.
Yeah.
Good primer sealer will help you have a more uniform look.
We're in the studio with Benjamin Moore's Kevin Hermann, our territory rep, talking about some products that we've got on sale. We're right now talking about Ultra Spec Primer, and we're talking about the importance of using a primer. I can't really let this go without bringing up the whole paint and primer all in one, though. There's people thinking, can't I just do that? And doesn't Regal say it can be used as a primer?
Yeah.
Talk about that quickly.
That's a marketing effort that a company a few years ago had a lot of success with, and consumers actually thought that they took a finish coat, paint, and a primer and mixed them together. That's not what happened. There is no paint primer in the paint. It's just that the resin quality has developed to a point where if we use it as a primer, it will seal itself and you'll have good holdout. The downside of that is primers are generally much less expensive than finish coats.
Right.
So if you're using a finish coat to do the job of a primer, you're spending more money than you need to.
Yeah.
It's probably more effective in most occasions to use a primer and then a finish paint.
Yeah, and you're saying that from the point of view or perspective that the products you're offering, products we offer as Repcolite, all can be said to be paint and primer in one. Yep. We're still saying you're better off using that primer.
Yeah, I'd say if somebody comes in and asks whether they need a primer, the next question should be, what are you doing? What are you painting?
Exactly.
What's your situation? In a lot of cases, a primer may be a better way to go.
All right.
An actual separate primer.
Yeah, Ultra Spec Primer, contractors, homeowners even. Again, it's in 5-gallon buckets. We've got it for $86 a pail.
Good price.
Very competitively priced and compatible, or not compatible, comparable, let's say, with a lot of big name products.
Oh, yeah. It's a very nice quality product. It's our top line professional.
All right. So, we've got that. And then Repcolite's got a couple other ones we should mention very quickly.
Yeah.
Quick Seal Primer. It's our main drywall primer.
Right.
And we've got that on sale. So if you've got a big area where you're starting with bare drywall and new construction, something like that, looking for a way to save some money on that, and who isn't?
Seriously.
At this point. Quick Seal Primer is a great option. And then Quicksand. That is something that's really interesting. It's an all-purpose primer Repcolite makes. It could be used on wood, can be used on drywall, any number of different surfaces. And the whole point of this is that it sands really well. Now, you've got a product Benjamin Moore has called
Fast Sand.
Quicksand versus Fast Sand.
Yeah, we go back and
which
forth.
Is faster?
Which is faster, exactly. But the nature of both of these is when they sand. I mean, you've had some interesting conversations with me about this because there are certain products that people can sand and they feel like they're sanding really well because they powder like crazy.
Yep.
Now, Quicksand doesn't powder like crazy, and neither does Fast Sand. And yet, so to some extent, sometimes it feels like, is this sanding as well as the other one?
Yeah.
But we got to think and remember that with the ones that powder, you're sanding away your primer.
I think what you're referring to is there are competitive products out there that advertise their sandability, how quickly they powder, as if it's really a product attribute that we really are looking for.
Right.
If you have a primer that has good hide, it has good flow and leveling, and you don't have to sand half of it off in order to make it look smooth, that's probably a better way to go.
That's better, yeah.
Yeah. I think you get more product on the wall.
Unless you really like sanding. There might be that person out there. I don't know.
There's probably somebody out there that does.
I like to be engulfed in a cloud of powder as I'm going.
I want to take the effort and the money to put it on the wall and then remove it,
sand it off, and breathe it in.
Right.
Now, it's another marketing thing.
Yeah,
I mean, it's really smart.
Yeah.
They're both plenty sandable.
Right.
If you want to get a little bit smoother finish, you can do that, but you don't need to go through that effort in order to have a nice looking wall.
And
that's on your finish coat, right?
Super positive. Quicksand, we've got that on sale for $97.87 for a 5-gallon pail. And I know those prices don't really matter a whole lot to everybody out there. They don't know what to compare them to anyway. Stop out at any Repco Lighter Port City Paints. Talk to us about your projects. We might have some stuff going that will help you accomplish them in a more economical manner. Now, Kevin, we've got a couple more minutes left.
All right.
I want to talk about the replacement. Now, I know it's winter. I mean, there's no real point of talking about exterior paint.
Yeah.
But Benjamin Moore is coming out with a...
we have a product coming out in the first quarter of this next year. I think in February is when we'll actually have it available to ship into this area, at least projection anyway. But it's called Element Guard.
Element Guard.
Yeah. What it does is it opens up both ends of the painting season. We can paint when it's colder and maybe a little more damp to start off with, and then later on into the year. So, what we always are fighting here in the Midwest, and especially the northern part of it, is temperatures get too low or we have precipitation, and it means that we don't have as many months to apply exterior coating.
Yeah.
So Element Guard will be down to 35 degrees, all colors, all bases.
All right.
And
surface temp.
Surface temperature and air temperature. You have to have both.
Yeah.
Right? It's not one or the other. Both of them have to be about 35. If you drop much below that, you get towards freezing. These are water-based products.
So it's going to freeze,
It's
right?
gonna freeze, and there's not a whole lot you can do. So down to 35 degrees, and then also what I really love about it, it is 60 minutes after you're done applying, it's moisture-resistant, precipitation
60 minutes.
60 minutes, yep. So it has fantastic moisture resistance.
So water spotting, going to be a thing of the past?
More
Surfactant leaching?
More washing off or bubbling or some of the other things that can happen if you paint an exterior surface and you get precipitation on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really, really cool.
So much
That
more
is
forgiving.
Element Guard?
Element Guard, yep.
I like it.
Very cool. I'm trying to figure out what Kevin just said. So it will water spot.
No.
It won't water spot.
No.
No.
Any of the issues.
I was
that
busy
could happen.
formulating my question. I wasn't actually listening to what Kevin was saying.
Oh, yeah.
My kids
That's
have told
the Dan
me,
way.
Yes, my kids have told me that's a fault, and I've said that's ridiculous. Seems to be. I've just captured it on video and audio.
And maybe I didn't answer your question very well.
Now I'm
Blame
sure it's me, Kevin. It's me. I'm going to take it this time because you brought gifts when you showed up. Wow.
Yeah, see?
So I'm going to be
This
the
could be
bigger
expensive
person.
if I have to
Counts
do
for a
more
lot.
interviews.
Yeah, it was really you, but I'm going to take the blame.
Dan,
All right,
You bribed.
Kevin. I'm not going to give out your contact information because
Thank you.
that's really kind of our thing. We'll get a hold of you if we need to, and you're always there to help. Whenever we've got issues that crop up, if anything happens, questions come up, you're always around. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
And yeah, thanks for taking the time to hang with us, and we're going to release you to the wild, but not before wishing you a Merry Christmas.
Well,
Yes,
thank you very
Merry
much.
Christmas.
And I did want to say happy Saturday to both of you guys. I didn't start off that way.
Yeah.
Happy
Aw.
Saturday.
All right.
Happy Saturday.
I say it better, but Kevin, you did try. Keep working at it. One of these days, you'll be as good.
I'll never be as good.
I know. All right. We'll be back in just a minute talking about, I don't even know what's next. Do you know, Haley?
We're going to find out.
We'll find out. Kevin, you have no clue, do you?
I have no idea where you're going.
All right. We're going to all hang around and be surprised in just a minute. Stay tuned.